So all of that power is great, and he's knocked people out. I just have to avoid that one shot for 8 rounds, and I believe that I can do that. So when I'm bouncing around the ring, jabbing, weaving, and doing all of these things, I know I can pick him apart and score points and make this a very, very big contest.
No shit, I saw it. And I don't give a Sure, he's looking good. Sure, he's looking all of that. Oh, he's dropping people. He's fast. So the fuck am I. People want the truth.
Chin's gone.
But he's still Anthony Joshua.
Which is stiff and no rhythm, no skill, just power.
You're serious about fighting him?
Yeah.
This is the first time where Jake is in real danger. Say what you want about money and prizes and everything else, this is going to end badly.
Jake Paul recently responded to Anthony Joshua's new training clips, boldly asserting that he could defeat Joshua without much effort and downplaying the workout as unimpressive. He suggested that the former heavyweight champ appeared flat and overhyped, reinforcing his belief that he is already at Joshua's level. These remarks quickly stirred social media, sparking renewed debates over whether Paul's confidence is sheer arrogance or a calculated, daring ambition.
I would love it. I would love it. I'd love to walk into the Lion's Den and have everyone saying fuck Jake Paul and then knock someone out like he did tonight. So we'll see what happens, but I know I can do it.
Who's that someone?
Anthony Joshua.
I know there's been a lot of noise today about a certain Tyson Fury placing £1 million on you to knock Anthony Joshua out if that fight's made. What's your response to
Jake Paul has begun his training camp ahead of his clash with Anthony Joshua, exuding confidence at every turn. He has been openly claiming that he can defeat AJ with ease, criticizing Joshua's chin, questioning his rhythm, and downplaying his overall abilities. Paul insists that Joshua is predictable, viewing this fight as his opportunity to prove that he truly belongs among the top heavyweights. Paul has been aggressively taunting Anthony Joshua, insisting that he is easy to defeat and even questioning his toughness. On his podcast, he claimed that Joshua lacks a strong chin, describing him as unskilled and stiff. This isn't just trash talk. Paul appears to genuinely see Joshua as vulnerable and beatable, using that belief to reinforce his view that this fight could be a major milestone for his credibility.
That AJ's got no chin, he's stiff, and he's got no rhythm.
What a fool. What an absolute idiot. He's going to get absolutely annihilated. If this is real, he's going to get absolutely annihilated. And, you know, who can blame Joshua? Who could blame him? Offering him this guy for 40 or 35 million. God almighty. It's unbelievable. Put it that way.
At a recent press conference, Paul openly defended his mindset, explaining that his so-called delusional optimism is what brought him to this point. He acknowledged that many doubt him, yet insisted that his unwavering self-belief has driven his rise even when others see him as unlikely to win. By embracing what critics call delusion, Paul frames it as a superpower, a relentless faith that pushes him beyond limits and fuels his ambition to surprise the world.
Anthony Joshua in less than a month. Why are you doing this?
I like to challenge myself. I like to take on the biggest, the best. I said anyone, anytime, any place. I truly mean that. And I'm here to go out there and shock the world. I know what I'm capable of. I see him and what he's capable of. And we're going to go to war, and we'll see the best man that will win. But people say, oh, he's out of his mind, all of these things. I've gotten to where I'm at today because of delusional optimism. And so it's delusion until it's not, because look at where we're sitting today. No one ever thought that this would be possible, that we would be here when I first started boxing. And no one thinks I'm going to win. So join the...
Paul is convinced he can defeat Anthony Joshua, highlighting what he sees as real weaknesses in Joshua's recent performances. On his podcast, he directly criticized Joshua, claiming he lacks a strong chin, skill, and fluidity in the ring. Paul believed Joshua's recent knockout loss to Daniel Dubois revealed his fading durability, making this the ideal time to strike. He argues that his own unconventional style, confidence, and momentum give him a genuine chance in what many consider a high-risk fight.
People doing this? Well, I think it's because he genuinely believes there is a chance he can win this. I think he's calculated everything about Anthony Joshua's circumstances and he's gone, yeah, I actually think I can do this. I can leapfrog so many years of having to build and go through the ranks and do all that stuff by beating a shop-worn Anthony Joshua. And what are the factors in Jake Paul believing this? Well, it would be firstly that AJ received a loss in his most recent fight. Anthony Joshua's not been in the ring since September 2024, so over a year by the time him and Jake Paul get in the ring together. It will have been around 15 months. It was the manner of Joshua's loss where he looked terrible. He looked like a fighter that was well past his best. His timing wasn't there. He even looked a little bit chinny, dare I say. I mean, I still think he's got a good chin. The shot he took from Dubois was absolutely massive and would have knocked down many heavyweights. And he showed decent powers of recovery to get up and struggle through for as long as he did before his over-aggression and miscalculation with the type of shots he was using got him knocked out by Dubois. But if you're deluded enough like Jake Paul, then perhaps you look at that and go, he landed a massive right hand on Joshua's chin. Why can't I do the same? I believe myself to be a very big puncher. And it's that old saying, isn't it? You know, you shoot for the stars, you might at least land on the moon. And I think that's kind of why Jake Paul's maybe got to where he is in life, because he does have two.
Jake Paul firmly believes in himself, framing this fight as a defining moment that could cement his status as a serious boxer. He views defeating Anthony Joshua not merely as another high-profile match, but as proof that he truly belongs among the sport's elite. By taking on a former world champion and genuine heavyweight, Paul argues he could demonstrate his ability to compete at the highest level. According to him, a victory over Joshua would silence all doubt and leave no question about his legitimacy in the boxing world.
Real boxer. They said, fight someone your size. They said, fight a world champion. We looked at a long list of supposed fighters for me to the world. Make no mistake, this is the biggest fight of my career. I'm walking into the lion's den. I'm doing something that no one else has ever done before. I, Jake Joseph Paul, will knock out, defeat, and embarrass Anthony Joshua Friday, December 19th, live on Netflix. My voice cracked, I'm still going through puberty. The biggest fight of 2025, USA versus UK. He's got the belts, the size, the history, but I have the balls. Be careful what you wish for. Jake versus Joshua, Judgment Day. He has a 90% knockout ratio, but I have a 100% chance of.
Anthony Joshua, an experienced heavyweight champion, has consistently shown his dedication through intense training, including rigorous strength and conditioning, sparring with elite opponents, and focusing on both physical and mental preparation. He has repeatedly sought top-tier competition, notably facing Alexander Usyk, a former undisputed cruiserweight champion and a formidable heavyweight contender. Their first bout in September 2021 at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium ended with Usyk winning by unanimous decision, outmaneuvering Joshua with superior technique and precision.
Belts were finally out of my possession, which I was expecting to win. It just kind of tore me apart, and that's raw emotion live on your screen. Obviously, looking back, could I have dealt with things better? Yeah, of course, but at the time that wasn't the priority. It was just outpour of emotion.
There are so many athletes we're seeing across gymnastics, cricket, rugby and football that have taken time out of their sport to deal with their mental health before coming back in. Did you at any point in that period think, I need to take an extended break away from boxing before coming back in?
It wasn't the fact I needed to take a break. You know what it was? I actually watched a lot of like fighters, they've taken time out of the game for those reasons as well. And I think, okay, if they've done it, I should be doing it. But I got to look at myself as an individual. And what it is, I feel like if I take time out, I'm letting everyone catch up.
While Paul has shown impressive athleticism and dedication, his in-ring experience remains far behind that of a seasoned professional like Joshua. His training, though intense, has largely focused on building endurance and honing basic boxing skills. Opinions are divided on the upcoming Paul versus Joshua fight. Some firmly believe Joshua will dominate, citing his raw power, extensive experience, and size as a former two-time heavyweight champion, making it unwise to underestimate his punching ability. Others argue that Joshua may no longer be the same fighter he once was, leaving room for Paul to make a significant impact.
On the Way concept presented by The Ring Magazine. And today, folks, I want to talk about one word: delusion. It exists to a degree I don't think I've ever seen in any other combat sports athlete, maybe Conor McGregor, but I don't really see it even that level when we're talking about what Jake Paul is going to try to do versus Anthony Joshua. Not just beat him, but in Jake Paul's own words, and we'll get into it in a second, he wants to and thinks he will knock Anthony Joshua out cold. And I think a lot of things are happening right now. People are on one end of the spectrum saying Anthony Joshua is going to flatline Jake in under 30 seconds, and if it goes past that, then AJ's a fraud and his time in the sport is done. I don't necessarily agree with that, and I'll explain why later. The other side is going, you know what? Jake might actually catch AJ. Jake might actually shock everyone because AJ got put down in his last fight. He got put down by Andy Ruiz. He's been hurt in a couple of different fights at this point. Maybe his chin's completely gone, and Jake has the speed and power to still put him down, even at the level Jake is currently residing in, which is only being in the sport for 5 years. I don't really agree with that either. I'm somewhere in the middle, but I'll say this. That word delusion I just talked about a second ago, it's Jake's biggest strength. It's the reason he's even in this fight with AJ. It's the reason that he's gotten as good as he has in the short amount of time he's been boxing. But maybe more importantly than that, this may be where his delusion finally leads to the end of Jake Paul's career. Because delusion in this business can get you hurt real bad. And I think for the first time, Jake Paul's delusional idea about how good he is in the sport and what he can do may have led him a bit too far. This is the first time where Jake is in real danger. Say what you want about money and prizes and everything.